in the standing waves lab, you will use equipment that's more complicated than what you've used in the past. So I want to show you what this equipment is. For one, you have here a mechanical wave driver, and there's cables plugged into it that come from the rest of the equipment, and they give this wave driver a certain frequency and amplitude so that this pin here vibrates up and down, and it causes the string to vibrate. Then over there we have an amplifier. I'm going to turn that on. Below that there is a power supply. I'm going to turn that on. And then on the left we have a function generator, and I'm turning that on as well. So we have to concentrate on this function generator a little bit because there are several settings that you have to set for that. So you notice that the cable, there's what we call a BNC cable plugged into the yellow output here. Yellow output is also channel 1, so it says channel 1 right there. And when we look on the screen, we see channel 1 yellow. There's a channel 1, 2 button where we can select if we want to go between channel 1 and channel 2. So we want channel 1 because that's what the output is over here. We want this to be yellow for that, and we want to check here that it says channel 1 waveform. If I press it one more time, you see that this is blue corresponding to channel 2 and this output over here, and it says channel 2 waveform. So let's go back to the yellow channel 1. That's what we want to set. Now for this channel we want to use a sine wave, and sine wave is already selected, and then we have to set frequency and amplitude. So looking over here, the very first thing here is frequency, and it's already selected. If I press this button, it selects period, and period is actually 1 over frequency. So going back, I want to set the frequency. The lab manual tells me to set it at 10 Hertz. So on the keypad, I type in 10, and then I look at the units here and see that Hertz is there, so I'll press the button next to that frequency. Then I have to set the amplitude. So the amplitude is over here, and the amplitude is in volts, and the lab manual tells me to enter 60 millivolts peak to peak. So looking at this column here, we find millivolts peak to peak and press that button. So now everything is set according to the lab manual. I'm going to press the frequency button again because it's going to be the frequency that we're going to vary, not the amplitude. So do not miss this step, because if you do, you're going to change the voltage and you're going to blow a fuse in our equipment. So make sure that you have frequency selected, because it's the frequency that you will vary in this experiment. So now that I have everything set up, I can press the output and notice that my wave driver starts vibrating. So the string is vibrating, and what we're looking for is resonant frequencies for which we will get nice nodes and antinodes. So I'm going to increase the frequency by turning the dial 1 notch. And doing that, I notice that this point here is actually stationary. So there is a node there, meaning that there is no displacement from equilibrium. Then looking over here, I see that there is an antinode there, so that's the maximum displacement from equilibrium, and I'm going to want to get more standing wave patterns, so I'm going to increase the frequency, and now I see that there is a node over here, there's an antinode over there, and there's probably another antinode, or node, sorry, at the pulley at the other end. So increasing the frequency, you're going to get more standing wave patterns. They look very nice. So again, node here, node over there, antinode in between. So you will want to record this frequency and the number of standing wave patterns that you can obtain on the wave here. When you are done with this, please turn off the equipment. So the first thing you should do is just press this output so that there is no signal being sent to the rest of the equipment, and then turn off the function generator, the power supply, and the amplifier. So this is the standing waves experiment, and it is the last one for the semester.